What is K-pop? Why is K-pop? How is K-pop? But most importantly, where is K-pop? I hope to find the answer to those questions in today's video. K-pop history in 20 minutes. Let's go.
There's one thing this video needs.
K-pop!
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 K-pop.
K-pop. K-pop.
K-pop.
K-pop.
K-pop.
K-pop.
K-pop. K-pop. Korean pop.
K-pop.
K-pop, popular music originating in South Korea and encompassing
Well, there we go. The answer to one of my questions. It's in South Korea. Who would have known? This is so stupid of me. Oh my god. Is this the character I want to be? No. So let's just continue on and leave that character behind.
variety of styles. As you've seen, K-pop has grown exponentially. Everyone in the world, like it or not, must have seen a K-pop related video at least once, either if it's Gangnam Style or a BTS video or an annoying K-pop dancing meme on Twitter. But you might not be
Yes, I've seen K-pop dancing memes on Twitter, but I don't find them annoying. I find all of them incredibly good-looking and amazing dancers, and I wish I could be them. And yeah.
sure on what K-pop actually is and where and when it began. Well, it all comes down to a country called South Korea, a peninsula located in East Asia in between China and Japan. Korea was doing great with its kingdoms and dynasties for more than 4,000 years until 1910 to 1945 when Korea was colonized by Japan. And from 1950 to 1953, Korean War happened, splitting Korea into North and South. Then Korea was stuck in the Cold War. Due to war and all, the economy wasn't that great. Thus, the music industry wasn't that public nor diverse. Well, Korea did have music like traditional sounds or Japanese-influenced trot. 1970s, it
Screw K-pop. I want Japanese trot. What was that? Japanese influenced trot. I want to learn more about that.
1970s, economy got a little better. Jeans, acoustic guitars, young kids enjoying life, rock, folk music happened. But still the government doesn't like too much freedom and creativity. They want you to work. 1980s, two words, folk songs and ballads. Korean ballads kick in. People like these dudes make ballad really popular.
Yes. These dudes know how to do an album cover. Like the guy in the middle? Hello? Can I be like the sister album? Oh. Wife album, not sister.
Legendary dudes like Cho Young-pil pop out. Bands like Shinawi Dribukwa pop out. People start listening to these dudes instead of these dudes. Until the 90s, Korea gets rich. No one's unemployed. People call it the miracle of Han River. Successful Olympics, CD distribution. Kids get to wear Nike shoes, buy music, go to concerts, clubs happen, dancing becomes a thing. Finally, the good old 90s arrive. Ding ding, hi, I'm K-pop. All these new genres start to bloom.
Yes!
Hip-hop, dance, R&B, soul, gospel, and of course the popularity of ballads and folk songs continue. Now, all these artists start writing their own songs. A lot of singer-songwriters appear like Shin Seung-hoon, Lee Seung-hwan, Yoon Jong-shin, Jeolname, Toy, and more. Boom! March 1992, this dude named Sotaeji appears out of nowhere. Well, actually... Sotaeji. I'm gonna butcher all these names, so I'm just gonna apologize in advance. I'm so sorry. I'll try my best. Actually, he was in the aforementioned rock band Shinawi as a bassist, so in the meantime he was doing his own thing and explores the world of media music, aka electronic digital. He's also a born rebel. He looks different. His crew dances like crazy. His band Sotaeji and Kids released an album called Yo Taeji with a title song called I Know. They just beat all the existing awards out there. Similar groups like Deuce might be competitors, but Sotaeji and Kids and their songs and performances change everything. Who is the most important year in Korean pop music history. He destroys genres like trot, ballad, and folk music. They released 4 albums afterwards until 1996. He mixes up hip-hop and traditional music in Hayoga. He also likes techno and even uses heavy metal rock in Classroom Idea, criticizing the Korean education system. And then the public suddenly tries to rewind the song and thinks he's Satan or gay. They keep on
I mean, probably true.
tackling social issues like reunification, environment, drugs, education. He's basically the Tupac of K-pop. Speaking of Tupac, he even touches gangster rap in his last album title, Come Back Home. And then they disband. More like disappear. Poof. Yup, just like that, leaving one message. We've showed you everything we can try. Korea freaks out. Kids don't go to school, protest, attempt suicide. People say K-pop's
is this
dead.
true?
Well, false alarm. Sotaeji and Kids might be gone, but their impact still lives. Now, listening, radio equals lame. On the other
I can't think of I guess like when One Direction broke up, is that kind of like the same thing where the world kind of like freaked out? But not really. That seems extreme.
And watching TV, performances, dance music, choreographies, style, competition equals cool. Young teenage fans, official fan clubs, fan meetings, fanfics, Hasing fans, fan wars, capital, artist management. It was like a cult, and Seo kids were their idol. On the side,
Am I getting myself involved in a cult? Eh, fine with me.
the tornado dance from I Know was the first dance choreo that went viral. Now corporates see money in K-pop and idol businesses. Samsung, Doosan, Hyundai, LG, Daewoo, Lotte all make their own record companies and labels. Competition begins. Huge investments flow from their mother company. Ambitious scouting, projects, new market, but no system yet. Expenses overissued, no transparency, business based on few inner circle connections. Result, obviously, all gone in a few years. Big failure. But then there's DSP. The founder, Yoo had some actual experience managing big artists like Taejina, Yoohyeol, Shimshin, and Sobangcha. Sobangcha was actually close to an idol group model way before Seo and Kids in 1987. However, their music was more trot-based and had very simple dance.
I knew it. I need to get into the trot. Love them.
Thus not as impactful as an idol group like Seo and Kids. Anyways, Lee Ho-yeon, who had the experience, makes his own label DSP in 1991. Wasn't really successful during the Seo era. Then in 1996 launches a group literally called Idol that initially had decent popularity but gets demolished by SM Entertainment's HOT. 1996 and HOT debuts hardcore rap, distinct fashion, and hair. Criticizing society. HOT is made by today's famous SM Entertainment, founded by Isuman, in short SM. Starts as SM Studio in 1989, then reforms into SM Entertainment in 1995. SM develops a systematic idol training system and earns huge success with HOT. DSP gets mad. 1997, they throw out Tex Kids.
How many kids are K-pop groups? We got another kid group.
SM activates their track card. Girl group SES debuts in December 1997. And then DSP says, well actually no, IMF says, everyone hold your fire. Korea will be entering the economic crisis. People lose jobs, businesses go bankrupt, half of the entertainment labels shut down, TV music programs get cancelled. People are struggling, they're jumping off bridges, so they aren't really cool or interested about idols. Well, 1998 comes, SMB like, the show must go on, pops out Shinhwa. DSP says, hold my beer, we present you Finkel. At this point,
Finkel? Finkel doesn't sound like a girl group. It sounds like a group of cats are performing. Finkel.
At this point, SM and DSP is the Marvel and DC comics of this era.
Marvel. HOT versus Setchkiz. Based on photos alone, HOT.
Versus Texkiz, SES versus Finkel.
SES versus Finkel. I am loving Finkel. Finkel.
Finkel, Shinha
versus God. I love the 90s. Can we please bring back Frosted Tips? It has to be God.
Versus GOD. Well, GOD was actually produced by a third company called JYP and wasn't actually the typical dance idol group, but I'll get to that later. Each company and group shares the trophies and awards around music shows turn after turn, and of course on the way there were other groups like Baby Vox, Chakra, Cleo, and talented solo artists like Yoo Seung-jun, Park Ji-yoon, Lee Jung-yeon as well. Looking back, we now call this era the first generation of K-pop. Meanwhile,
I think K-pop, and I think I want to learn more about the different generations, but K-pop's like the only thing that has generations. Like pop music, we don't have any other generations. We have like we do generations by the year, like 90s, 2000s. Interesting.
Well, you might be wondering whatever happened to Seo and the boys after they disbanded. I don't know about Seo himself, but one dude for sure was planning something. Yang Hyun-suk, who was the rapper and dancer of Seo and boys, was trying out his talent as a producer, but was kinda unlucky in the meantime. But anyways, opened up his own company, Hyun Label, in 1996, but kinda flopped with a group called Keepsakes. Then renames his company to MF Label and launches the hip-hop duo Jinushan. Jinushan surprisingly did pretty well, even though hip-hop was pretty new.
The subtitles aren't matching, so I apologize for that.
Yang Hyun-suk was well known to have an influence and background in hip-hop dance and music. He was spotted in Itaewon dancing all the time before his debut dates. So this background and success with Jinushan led him to reform his company into YG Entertainment and launched another hip-hop group called One Time. First generation of K-pop was sparked by Seo and boys. Everything got systematic, like the trainee systems and all. Groups with crazy hair, crazy fashion, and dance music. K-pop still kinda strange, new, but popular to the public. Kinda trying to imitate American pop. While corporate-backed labels died with the IMF crisis, labels with professional music background become big, like DSP, SM, and YG. It was the opening, a door to a new era, to the 21st century. Second generation begins. Wait says 1.5 gen. On the conversion to second gen, there is a transition stage. Surprisingly,
Why? Why do we need a 1.5? Why make it more complicated and confusing? Who came up with that? I will speak with you soon.
a lot of solo artists who sing ballads, R&B, and groups that do ballads or rock become super popular. Song Shikyung, Hee-sung, Vibe, MC The Max, Buzz, The Cross, BOS, SG Wannabe. Then where'd K-pop go? Well, many talented solos were there to bridge the transition. The famous BoA, known as Asia's star, arguably the most successful solo female K-pop artist in history, from SM Entertainment. Got casted by Isuman himself and debuted at August 2000. Also debuted in Japan. Critics state BoA is one of the biggest contributors in pioneering opening foreign markets for K-pop and SM. BoA gets to get all these first young
10 million albums sold. Do artists do that now? That's crazy. Youngest solo artist. First Korean artist to top Oricon chart.
Wow. Most blah 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 titles and rewrites K-pop history. Other solo artists also kept the K-pop flame burning with competitions such as Rain and Seven. Speaking of Rain, let's get back to JYP. Park Jin-young, aka
I know I'm pausing a lot, but oh my god. Okay.
JYP
you have
is
my
the
interest.
dude that was active during the Seo era as well. Initially got refused numerous times from labels due to his weird face and body, but finally debuts in 1994 as a solo artist. Tale is, SM himself rejects JYP from an audition, but later asks in private just because he wants to buy songs JYP produced. JYP is extremely talented in dancing and also being sexy, which was a first for a male at that time. Won many number ones during the era, even with the competition.
I'm so sorry. Out of all the video I just saw in that past 5 seconds, I don't know if sexy is a word I'd use.
With Seo and Kids, became a singer-songwriter and producer and made hit songs like Honey and Swing Baby. With that experience, goes on as a producer, producing G.O.D, once called The Nations Group, and also excavates Park Ji-yoon, who sang Adult Ceremony, also produced by JYP. And in the midst of that, makes his own company, JYP Entertainment. Back to Rain. Rain was a backdancer of JYP and Park Ji-yoon. JYP trained Rain and debuted him, also giving him many hit songs like How to Avoid the Sun and It's Raining.
Very weather-based.
BoA from SM, Rain from JYP, Seven from YG. This is when we start to see the three companies grow and become the now known big three of K-pop, SM, JYP, YG. Another fun fact about the 1.5 generation is that many solo artists tried their luck after disbanding from the first generation groups, like Kangta, Pada, Okjuyeon, Eunjiwon. However, to be honest, their popularity wasn't like before. Except maybe Ihori, former Finkel member that was least popular among the members, but suddenly pops up with a sexy solo debut and becomes Korea's diva. Finally,
sexy. If you're sexy and you know it, do some hip thrusts.
it's second gen. The idol groups are back, and the public is used to the word idol. SM Entertainment introduces TVXQ in 2000.
I feel like a lot of groups, besides being kids, are also just letters thrown together. Like, what is TVXQ? It probably stands for something, but it's just like a bunch of letters thrown together.
2004. They get the Rookie Awards, actually all awards, gets a Daesang on their second debut year, and gets a Grand Slam in 2006, another Grand Slam in 2008, Oricon chart number 1 in Japan. It's not a stretch to say they basically conquered Korea, Japan, and China. SM got rich, they make more groups like Super Junior in 2005, Girls' Generation in 2007, SHINee, and FX in 2009. Super Junior becomes extremely popular with songs like Sorry Sorry in China and Southeast Asia. Girls' Generation becomes the nation's girl group with their stunning visuals and charmful songs like Kissing You and Baby Baby. They don't
Kissing You while they have lollipops like, yeah, I'm a little girl, with a song called Kissing You. I'm definitely looking into Girls' Generation. I'm looking more into them. I'm definitely gonna be looking more into Girls' Generation.
stop with Korea. They go off to conquer Japan with their songs G, Genie, and O, bringing all those titles from Japan charts and album sales. SHINee puts out super addictive songs like Juliet, Ring Ding Dong, Lucifer, and achieves attention from mostly Japan and Southeast Asia, eventually touring all around these areas. FX shows the experimental side of SM. They carry a unique concept with all of their songs with obscure lyrics. Their unique electronic songs get very positive reactions from professional music critics. And note that we start to see non-Korean members, such as...
That was one of my questions. Do you have to be Korean to join a K-pop group? Like, could I, as an American white lady, just go to Korea and be like, hey, I want to join a girl group? I mean, I can't sing or dance, and I'm nowhere near as beautiful as them, so they'd shut the door in my face. But is the possibility there? Like, could that happen?
Victoria and Amber. With all these groups, SM is now all over Asia. Now, SM might be big. No group could rival TVXQ, but here comes a big group. Big Bang. Big Bang from YG Entertainment is a little different. Debuted in 2006 as 5 members from a real survival...
Every time something sexy happens, my gut reaction is to pause and think about what I just saw. So I'm sorry.
Program conducted by Yang Hyun-suk himself, Big Bang places its roots into hip-hop. In 2007, they released their EP Always with the song Lies. This song was so big that it made them escalate to the top immediately. Then major hit songs after hit songs like Last Farewell, Haru Haru, Red Sunset make them the unquestionable #1 group in Korea. They go on doing solo work, Japan activities, world tours, sweep awards, pointless to list achievements. They go on further with their career.
Sorry, I have another question. You can tell I'm a complete newbie because I have 1,000,001 questions. They keep mentioning Japan. So is K-pop's like their demographic South Korea and Japan? Like, are those the two demographics? I guess it's kind of like America and Europe. I guess is it like that?
With mega hits like Blue, Fantastic Baby, Loser, Baby, Bang Bang Bang. Big Bang becomes the most popular influential listened to group. No male group can rival them in the second gen except maybe early TVXQ. The biggest point that differentiated them would be that the general public, including men, loved and sang most of their hit songs. Big Bang's leader G-Dragon produced most of these mega hit songs, not to mention his successful solo work, and lives as the biggest Korean fashion, music, and trend icon to this day. So who was Girls' Generation's rival then?
I love G-Dragon.
21. 4-member group debuted in 2000.
What did I say? We got TVXQ and now we got 2NE1. 2NE1.
2009 with a very different concept, strong female image. Releases mega hits like Fire, I Don't Care, Go Away, Lonely, I Am the Best. They were the best.
I don't care. Go away. But now I'm lonely because everyone went away.
Ranked as one of the best K-pop groups of the past decade by Billboard, and a female group that finally offered an alternative concept from the traditional pretty cutesy girl group stereotype.
Ooh,
Girls' Generation
that's
and
fun.
21 weren't rivals in style because they were so different. However, the two groups were huge and probably the most successful
Girls' Generation head to toe pink. 2NE1 like rock edgier style. Very funny.
And second-gen K-pop history. Speaking of girl groups, we have to go back to JYP, because JYP is known as the girl group Royal Company. Wonder Girls is among one, debuted in 2007, put out major hits like Tell Me, So Hot, Nobody, which were all viral hits within the nation and Asia due to their simple and catchy point dances. In 2008 Haiwon Seoul Music Awards, they received their first Daesang as a girl group, competing with Big Bang and TVXQ. Before Girls' Generation got extremely popular, they had the nation's girl group title in 2007 to 2008. Their style
Nation's girl group title. That's a thing? What, does the nation vote? Like, how do you get the title?
was distinct compared to Girls' Generation or 21 because it was mostly retro pop or electro funk. Wonder Girls were the first to appear on an American TV show, showing the possibilities of expansion of K-pop to the West. Nobody was the first K-pop song to enter the
They look like Kids Bop. Just the style. I'm not saying they sound like they sound better than Kids Bop. Everyone sounds better than Kids Bop. Just like that style of like kids running around. Okay, I'm probably gonna cut that out of the video.
Billboard Top 100 chart. On the other hand, JYP puts out boy groups such as 2PM and 2AM, who respectively have the Monster Idol and Ballad.
Come on. Come on, guys. Come on. Okay.
Prince concept. 2PM does especially well with hit songs like 10 out of 10, Again and Again, and Heartbeat, also becoming a sensation in Korea and Japan. Here we see Nickun, a member of 2PM from Thailand, showing that K-pop is surely expanding beyond China and Japan. Now, it would be safe to say that the second gen of K-pop was led by the mentioned groups. There are other groups such as 4 Minute who made a strong impact and shift on the concept of girl groups. Then there was Kara, produced by DSB, and were known as big competitors to the Wonder Girls and Girls' Generation. Japan went crazy over them. Everyone knew their songs and choreographies like Step and Mr. Now, can we move on to third gen? Well, maybe yes or maybe no. Some people draw the line by 10 years, as in 2000 to 2010. Some experts draw the line by sudden inflation and saturation of groups. A lot of groups start to pop up, like Beast and Black C and Blue, B1A from Block B, BAP, B2B, VIX, Infinite, Teen Top.
BLPD, Blue Side, like what are these names? Teen Top? Is there a Teen Bottom?
US and more. For girl groups, After School, Tiara, Rainbow Secret, Miss A, Nine Muses, Girls' Day, Sister, A-Pink, ESID, AOA, and more. The groups that debuted in the late 2000s and early 2010s are tricky to categorize.
Plus, from this point on, please don't hate me for not going in depth of every single group or missing some of them, because that would change the title of this video to K-pop History Explained in 200 minutes.
But if we were to say there was a dominant group of this transition era, it's EXO. EXO debuts in 2012 in two groups, EXO-M and EXO-K. Another experimental approach from SM trying to divide.
Why? Why don't they combine them?
Markets. Anyways, EXO wins, tops, and grows.
Another niche comparison. Is this like S Club 7 had then like S Club Junior or something? Is it like that? Like they had like the varsity team and then the JV team?
China is basically EXO's. EXO has the biggest and also most notorious fandom in Korea. That's how much people love EXO. They put out hit after hits like Growl, Overdose, Call Me Baby, Monster, Lotto. Their only rival might be the still yet hugely successful Big Bang. And then they slowly open the doors to third gen. Now these are some of the characteristics of the third generation of K-pop. 1. Mass and
does each generation have different characteristics? Probably, because as the years go by, trends change, and yeah, okay, I answered my own question. Thank you.
Inflation and red ocean of idols, saturated market. 2. Globalization as a norm, catching the global audience is a must. 3. Idol audition survival programs. Because of the red ocean of idols, naturally the mass public begins to dislike K-pop idols due to lack of creativity, overlapping concepts, and exhaustion of idol music. This is when the public starts to divide the term idol with artist. Many major TV audition programs become popular looking for real talented singers and vocals rather than visually appealing
American Idol, The Voice.
Sing a few seconds in one song. Well, this is what the public thought at that time. I know there are exceptions among idols too. Oh yeah, in the meantime, in 2012, the worldwide viral hit Psy's Gangnam Style happened, getting the once most viewed video on the planet, thanks to its addictive, hilarious dance and beat. It got a number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. This was basically the first time that the entire world notices a country called South Korea and K-pop without having to mention nukes and
It's true. The first time anyone's thought about South Korea through music instead of other things. Psy should be the the mayor of Korea, the face of Korea. His face should be on the flag, the South Korean flag.
That's North Korea, by the way. In the third gen, despite the influx of idol groups, the only ones that survive are groups that have amazing music quality or musical talent or something different. Because the Korean market is so small and saturated,
Got it.
it now becomes a norm to have at least more than one global English group. This member usually is in charge of speaking during overseas interviews
That
and
sucks.
tours. Not only member-wise, but marketing and music-wise, the attempts become...
You know what? I would be like, no, I'm not gonna learn like English because that's too much work to have to be in charge of all the interviews and like all the talk shows. And I'm like, that's too much work. You figure it out and I'll sit in the back looking pretty.
more globalized too, testing out new markets such as South America. In the meantime, the public and entertainment companies want a system to get the best quality idols out there, and that is by following the TV trend by making TV audition survival programs with worldwide contestants. This system allows idols to gain publicity even before debut and also verify popularity and talent. Although audition programs such as Produce 101 to Produce X have been extremely popular, it got caught in a corruption and manipulation issue recently, which likely put out the credibility and support towards these survival
Tell
programs.
me more.
Now, to name a few groups that are leading the third generation currently, definitely the girl group Trinity, Twice, Blackpink, Red Velvet. JYP's girl...
Okay, out of all those, the only group I've heard of is Blackpink. And all of the first and a half, second and a half generation, I haven't heard of any of them. So now you know how much K-pop I know. Blackpink. And let me guess, BTS is third?
JYP's girl group Twice has earned the absent Nation's girl group title since Girls' Generation, along with major hit songs that dominated Korea and Japan mostly, like Cheer Up, TT, Knock Knock, Like
Twice sounds familiar, but I don't think I can name a
result
song.
of an audition program called 16. YG's girl group Blackpink has the record of most YouTube views, 56.7 million in 24 hours, with its Kill This Love music video topping Ariana Grande. Their music videos have this much views each, which saves my time on trying to explain and prove their popularity. Also, they're the highest charting female K-pop group on Billboard Hot 100 and 200, plus they had an epic stage at Coachella too. SM girl group Red Velvet might not be as big as the former two in size, but is always praised by the public and critics for their unique sound and high quality songs. Time magazine has highlighted their versatile musical style and named them as one of the best K-pop groups. Billboard agreed too.
K-pop style is fascinating to me. Especially just seeing like this group, like here in particular. Why does one stand out? Why is everyone in solid red? And then this one girl is in like plaid and is she the leader? Like, why is she standing out?
Highlighted their versatile musical style and named them as one of the best K-pop groups. Billboard agreed too in 2019. Fun fact, Red Velvet was the first K-pop group to perform in North Korea, and Kim Jong-un adjusted the schedule to go see them. Now let's not try to...
I would never. I need to know more. Why? Oh, I need to know more.
Leave out many other talented, hard-working girl groups such as Mamamoo, Momoland, Luna, IZ*ONE, G-Idol, CLCD, Dreamcatcher, G-Friend, Lovelyz, Oh My Girl, 우주소녀, 공원소녀.
Ujazanu, Goazanu. WJSN, GWSN. I love Oh My Girl. Oh My Girl.
Everglow, Wiki Mickey, and more. As for boy groups, it's hard to pick a definitive popularity or impact, but just to name a few, 17, NCT got
17, NCT got 7. Nope, haven't heard of them.
7, Winner, Icon, Monster X,
Nope.
AT, Stray Kids.
Stray Kids! What am I, Blackpink and Stray Kids?
Are definitely the biggest and most popular globally. Most of these groups actively go on world tours and appear on Western TV shows nowadays. And then there are groups such as DAV, Impact, Victon, Astro, Pentagon, SF9, The Boys, Ace, JBJ, Golden Child, Intuit, UMB, Very Very, ONEUS, and more. So,
How? I guess my main question is, we had boy bands were big in the 90s here in America in the 90s. I can't think of the most recent boy band I can think of is One Direction. And that was over 10 years ago. But in K-pop, they get like 10 new band groups a year. And it's like, what is K-pop doing that's working where it doesn't work in America? Like, are we just not as talented as in Korea? So it's just different? It's just so interesting to me because I can't think of even girl groups. I can't think of a recent girl group. And like, it's crazy to me.
Many girl groups, boy groups, mixed groups, new global audience, thus various music styles as well. You name it, K-pop has it. Oh, you don't like groups? Super produced modern electronic music? Maybe try IU out. She's Korea's nation's sister and also nation's singer. Been around since 2008 with numerous ballad and K-pop hit songs. Single-handedly has the popularity equivalent to K-pop's biggest idols. Then there's K-hip-hop R&B, a whole scene of its own. Maybe check out Zico, who has an overlap background with K-pop. Then there's rock. Maybe check out bands like Day6 and Flying the Rose and more. So, it's already 2020, technically 10 years have passed again, and the line...
It's 2025. Oh, how am I going to get the history of the last 5 years?
Line is blurring between 3rd gen and 4th gen. Then what would be the standards of dividing the generations? I can't be the one deciding, but just to add my personal 2 cents, maybe the line could be drawn by observing groups that start off already with a bigger fandom globally rather than domestically in Korea, from the pre-debut and rookie phase. In short, maybe...
There's phases? See, sometimes it's just too much. There's a pre-debut phase, a rookie phase, and then what, like veterans? Like they're old that no one cares about them? Like when do they become, how long is the rookie phase? And then what's the pre-debut phase? What are these phases?
No more validation or dependence from Korean fans needed? Or there's an alternative view of simply drawing the line by post-BTS. And yes, I know y'all are screaming, what, not a single mention of BTS until now? But hold on a little bit more, I have a whole buffet for you. Well, anyways, this whole generation dividing process is a whole debate subject of its own, so let's just leave it there and throw it to the comment section.
So this man is saying that there's a 1st gen, and then like an in-between, the 1.5. Then there's the 2nd gen, and then a 3rd gen. But they can't figure out the 4th, like when the 4th generation started? Like, how are there clear lines before but not now? Is it just because there's so many bands and they just keep popping out that it's hard to know? There's no in-between anymore. It's just, it's too much.
Finally, there is one group that needs a thorough separate section in K-pop history, and it is BTS. BTS started
I do love mic drop.
Off from a small company called Big Hit under the producer named Bang Si-hyuk, who was a former colleague and good friend to JYP, but split paths to make his own company.
I love to know the drama behind that split.
Bang Si-hyuk gathered 7 members originally and planned to make a hip-hop group, however the content and musical style diversified over the years. BTS didn't gain much attention during their first years, often getting mocked by their group name that means Bulletproof Boy Scouts.
How does BTS mean Bulletproof Boy Scouts? Wouldn't it be BPBS? I guess in Korean it's probably something else. Obviously. Duh. Bulletproof Boy Scouts? That is embarrassing.
And apparently some or many people thought their appearances were unpretty. However,
unpretty? Look at that man. Look at that man on the screen right now. Unpretty? Well, what's their standard for pretty?
BTS differentiated themselves with other idols by speaking about the unspoken in their lyrics, such as mental health, youth problems, social issues, and the journey towards loving oneself. BTS also made their own universe and story in their music videos. They made moderate success until they got mainstream with their songs like I Need You, Dope, Save Me, and Fire.
Save Me is my favorite BTS song. I like that I said that in a way like I am like a BTS fan when I didn't know what their name meant. So you can take it for the grain of salt.
After that, every move they made pretty much became history. They topped the Billboard 200 charts 4 times in a row alongside the Beatles, appeared on multiple major American TV shows, got awarded by the Billboard Music Awards, AMAs multiple times, did a Grammys act, did a UN speech, did a cover of Times, had stadium world tours including Wembley and Saudi Arabia, sold over 20 million cumulative albums to this date. BTS has become so big that they become expressed as the BTS or Korean invasion, just like the British invasion from the Beatles by multiple critics and journalists. Many point out that it's even more significant regarding the fact that BTS's music and lyrics were not in English but in Korean. Also started off as underdogs in the K-pop industry itself, struggling without the support.
I don't know, like I said, the two groups I know the most is Blackpink and BTS. Stray Kids, I only know them by name. I don't know them, I think, because of what's the guy in the red suit? Ryan Reynolds was in a music video. That's how I know Stray Kids. But do K-pop groups usually have English lyrics? I thought K-pop meant Korean pop. Like I thought they sing in Korean. Do most groups have English lyrics as well? Did not know that.
Of big capital nor media. In the meantime, there might have been attempts to compete with BTS, for example, SM making their own Avengers by combining members from existing successful groups like SHINee, EXO, NCT into a collaborative single group called Super M. Well, they did get a #1 on Billboard 200, but many people criticized the method of bundling issues in the process. However, industry-wise, it was a fresh attempt that never happened in K-pop history, trying to officially combine members from different groups into one with an agenda to make success in the American or global market. And it is these new attempts that fuel K-pop to go further on. Anyways, back to BTS, it's not an overstatement to say that BTS is probably bigger than all of K-pop combined at this point. However, from Seotaeji to BTS, many groups existed, and every time records were broken, people were surprised. Back then, no one imagined anything bigger than TVXQ, Girls' Generation, Big Bang, EXO.
I'm still laughing at the just letters as names.
Gangnam Style. But here
the comments I'm gonna get. How dare you disrespect TVXQ like that? Sorry.
we are. K-pop is still evolving. The market is getting bigger and it's becoming more well-known all around the world. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens in the future of K-pop.
I want to go to one of these giant...
or get even bigger like it always
has. What, like just dance parties? Okay, that was K-pop history in 20 minutes. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed learning a little bit more about K-pop. I loved seeing the different hairstyles and the fashion and everything, and I just can't wait to learn more. So if you have any groups that you want me to react to, I want to react to both boy groups and girl groups. I want to react to them all. List down your favorite groups below, and I'll try to look into them. Give this video a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.